The Adventures of Jungle Jim. A complete radio episode based on the action pictures and characters of the same name that appear every Sunday in the Comic Weekly. On board an aircraft carrier in the Pacific, one of Jungle Jim's raiders has been accused of treason. This man, an intrepid comrade, whose nickname is Frenchie, is suffering from malaria and unable to defend himself. Jim and the others are disdainful of any charge against Frenchie, for after months of constant companionship in the jungles, they feel they know him better than anyone. But because the charge is so serious, even punishable by death if Frenchie is found guilty, Jim and the raiders are all under technical arrest pending a court-martial. Now the carrier has dropped anchor at an island base. Frenchie is under guard in the sick bay, and Jim and the others are confined to quarters. At this moment, Captain Bates of military intelligence, assigned by the judge advocate to prosecute Frenchie, is questioning Jim together with Kolu and Sing Lee.
I'm a great believer in plain speaking, Bradley.
Then suppose you let us hear some, Bates.
I'll find out the facts in this case, no matter who it hurts.
Maybe so. You throw boomerang. Hurt self, fella.
You speak when you're spoken to, boy.
Name Kolu.
I strongly advise you, Bradley, to order your men to cooperate with me.
It is not necessary.
What's that?
Such an order is not necessary.
Singly means that our men will cooperate with you without an order. After all, you're here to see justice done.
And don't you forget it. I'll begin with this native.
Name Kolu.
I don't care what it is. I understand you're this man Foutaine's best friend.
Also, Tuan Jim best friend, too.
Tuan? Oh, is that so? Huh.
Also, Sing Lee, Thompson, Sergeant Mac, Australian feller, Filipino Flores, London feller, all Frenchy best friends.
Any more of that, and I'll have you up for insubordination.
Take it easy, Bates.
I'll get to you in a minute.
You'll get to me right now. If you're going to pull rank on Colo, maybe Sing Lee here will pull rank on you.
What's that?
It is my privilege to rank as colonel in Chinese army, Captain.
Oh, I didn't know that, Colonel.
The fact is unimportant except on minor occasions.
So take your brass hat off, Bates, and leave it off. We're as anxious to learn the truth about Frenchie as you are.
You sure of that, Bradley?
Yes, you can count on it.
We'll see. Suppose you tell me how Foutaine happened to join your unit.
Well, that's your story, Sing Lee. You're the one who signed him in.
Yes. It was in China some 18 months ago in Yunnan province. We learned that reinforcements were being sent to the Japanese garrison at Mengla.
Mengla? Where's that?
Just across the border from French Indochina.
Oh.
Just as the moment came to go into action, Foutaine joined us. He had just escaped from a civilian internment camp in French Indochina.
Just a little lost dog, with no place to go.
You have spent much time in Japanese-occupied territory, Captain?
No, I never have. Why?
You would not ridicule Frenchie if you had seen how they treat white men.
Oh, I know all about that. The point is, I know all about Frenchie, too.
Then why for you asking us, Captain?
Just making sure. Personally, I don't think the rest of you are guilty of anything worse than gullibility.
Oh, that's very generous of you.
Now, since he joined you, has Frenchie ever had a chance to get in touch with the enemy?
A chance to...
Crazy things, Tuan.
Not so crazy, Kolu.
You don't know Frenchie, Bates. We do.
That still doesn't answer my question.
Well, I suppose he has. We've captured radio equipment in our time.
Also taken prisoners.
I thought so.
Frenchy no send messages to Japs.
That's where you're wrong, Kolu. He's been working for the Japs right from the start.
Not so.
Oh, you'll see.
Tuan Jim, what been punishment for knocking down Captain?
Why don't you fellas grow up and stop talking like the Rover boys?
And why don't you do what you were sent here to do, Bates? You're supposed to see that justice is done.
Oh, you'll get justice, all right. And so will your man, Frenchie. But when you hear the evidence against him, Bradley, the last thing you'll want will be justice.
Realizing that bickering with the prosecuting officer is not the way to help Frenchie, Jim controls himself. But what did Captain Bates mean about the evidence against Frenchie? We'll learn more in a moment. You know, one of the greatest pleasures that all of us enjoy is the pleasure of building castles in the air, of daydreaming. And the brilliantly imaginative trained artists of the Comic Weekly have a genius for capturing those daydreams and putting them on paper in thrilling full color. That's why in more than 6 million American homes, the Comic Weekly makes Sunday morning a holiday, an action-packed, adventure-filled holiday that never fails to bring enjoyment. And besides 15 million readers on the home front, the men in our armed forces, too, will tell you that these picture stories are their favorite reading. So treat yourself to the Comic Weekly this Sunday. It comes to you with 15 of the nation's leading Sunday papers from coast to coast. It brings you more than 24 all-star features. Features that have made it America's favorite funnies. Look for the figure of Puck and the name, the Comic Weekly, at the top of the front page. Now, back to a Pacific Island base and Jungle Jim.
Wait here, you men. I'll make sure Frenchie isn't delirious again.
A most unfortunate personality.
Him what Thompson call sad character.
Well, he's doing his job the only way he knows how.
I am glad Frenchie is over his delirium. But why should Captain Bates bring us three here?
Because you and I are in command of the raiders, Sing. And Colo is Frenchie's best friend.
Frenchy is good man, Tuan. Him no work for chaps like Captain say.
Of course not, Colo.
It would be laughable if it were not for the captain's favorite word, evidence.
Yeah, you're right, Sing. They must have something pretty definite against Frenchie to accuse him of treason.
In here, men. He still sounds delirious to me. You listen to him and see if what he's babbling makes any sense.
I will attend to it, Eloise, the same as usual.
Who's Eloise?
We thought maybe you knew.
Do not disturb your pretty head. They have been deluded into making a mistake. When I have corrected them, we will have a good laugh, no? Let me hear you laugh now, Eloise. Come, laugh with me.
I thought the doctor said he was conscious again.
His fever is down. He has moments of lucidity, and then he lapses into this delirium again.
We are wasting time here, Jim.
Jim? Jim!
I'm right here, Frenchie. See, I brought Colo with me. And Sing Lee, too.
Oui. I remember now. But the ship has stopped rolling.
Us been ashore on island, boy, since yesterday night.
Listen, Frenchie. This is Captain Bates of Military Intelligence.
How do you do, sir?
Houtain, who's Eloise?
Ça c'est une grande femme, monsieur. A truly wonderful woman.
Your wife?
No. The war caught up with us before we were married.
And where was that? In France?
No. I'm not in France for... Mon Dieu, it is 11 years. No, I've met Eloise in Madagascar. Later I meet her in French Indochina. But it is here I discover how truly wonderful she is.
What did you do for a living, Frenchie?
Oh, many things. I'm deckhand on a private yacht. I play piano in cheap cafe. Many things.
What did you do when the Japs came, Frenchie?
It was very simple. When they came, I left.
And Eloise?
Yes, we left together.
Where is she now?
I have prayed to find out. We were separated at Luang-Prabang. I am afraid the Japs took her.
You know, you're accused of treason, Houtain. You got anything to say to defend yourself? Now is the time to say it.
I have nothing to say, monsieur.
You'll plead guilty?
No.
Give yourself a break, Frenchie.
Better you talk, boy.
C'est impossible. It might cost a very precious life.
It might cost your own precious life if you don't.
Is it Eloise, Frenchie?
It does not matter who it is.
It is very noble to die for the woman one loves. It is more satisfactory, however, to live for her.
She knows all that. We have discussed it. I will tell her what you say, but I know what the answer will be.
Getting delirious again. We'd better go.
You do not realize that Eloise is not only clever. She is extremely brave. Un véritable gallant. Very brave.
Well, Bradley, you still going to be a Boy Scout about this? One for all and all for one?
I haven't heard anything to make me change my mind, Bates.
Even knowing the nature of Frenchie's work?
No. Let's leave Frenchie alone.
We've got evidence, definite evidence, mind you, that he's guilty of dealing with the enemy. And dealing in contraband at that.
What been this, what you say, contraband?
Well, that's anything that's been outlawed by international agreement, Colo.
And in this case, it means narcotics.
What?
These been good things?
No, extremely bad. Dope, Colo. Opium, morphine, heroin, cocaine.
Frenchy, no using that stuff.
No, he did worse than that. He got other people to use it. Your people, Sing Lee.
You accuse him of working against China?
You might put it that way.
Better put your sun helmet on, Bates. Even walking across the compound is a risk without it.
Huh? Oh, yes, thanks.
What do you think Frenchy do in China, Captain?
We think he was supplied with dope by the Japs. Then he'd work his way into China and distribute it for them to undermine Chinese morale.
It is true the Japanese did this ever since our war began in 1937.
This not mean Frenchy do it.
Of course not.
Then why doesn't he defend himself? Why is he afraid to tell the truth?
He wouldn't be if it were himself, Bates. He's weak and half-conscious now. Not responsible for anything he says or does.
You're just trying to...
What is that?
Sound like window broken.
Shooting. That sounds bad.
You men are still under arrest. Proceed to quarters under your own escort. I'll join you there in a minute.
If you say so.
It's just possible those shots may have something to do with this case.
Me not mind under arrest. Not mind be told, go to room, like small boy. But me not like when Captain say, him join us again.
Cheer up, Colo. At least those shots got us rid of him for a minute.
A minute not be long enough.
He is only doing his job.
This true. But him not have to like dirty job so good.
No, I wouldn't say that, Colo. He thinks Frenchy's guilty. That's why he thinks the rest of us are acting like fools.
Him get eyes opened. Plenty wide one day soon, Dwan.
Right, Colo. Just as soon as Frenchy is over this malaria siege.
I must confess to a consuming curiosity about the glamorous and mysterious Eloise.
Probably just part of his delirium, Sing Lee. I mean the part about how brainy and how beautiful she is.
It is true that in dreams one meets a much higher type of person than in life.
Hold it right there.
Okay, Bates. Wonder if he found out what those shots were all about.
From look on face, him found something him like plenty much.
Yes, and he cannot wait to share it with us.
And that means we won't like it. What is it, Bates? What's up?
Plenty. Your great pal, Frenchy, just broke out of sick bay.
What's that?
He wasn't delirious at all, just playing possum.
Not so.
Oh, yes. He's hiding out in the bush somewhere, but he won't last long. And incidentally, Bradley, the sentries have orders to shoot him on sight and shoot to kill.